brings us to our first public comment section on agenda items only.
Good evening. I'm going to take this opportunity to welcome our new Board of Education. My name is Robin Francis, and I'm a parent and employee here at Tecumseh Public Schools. And tonight you're going to hear about 3 grievances that were filed by the Tecumseh Education Association leadership against the salaries of 3 of its bargaining members, of which I am one. I could go into all the reasons I feel justified that the TEA is wrong about my salary and why my current salary is correct, but Mr. Beasley and Dr. Coffin will get into the nitty-gritty of the debate, so I'll leave that to them and their expertise on such matters. The only thing that I am truly an expert on is my experiences and the experiences I've had in my own life. I was told that the grievances filed against my salary is not personal. It's about the contract. But I just couldn't wrap my head around that at first. Of course it's personal, I thought. You're attacking my livelihood. You're essentially attacking me as a person. And you're my union. I pay dues to you to represent me. But last night, I was open to seeing this whole situation from a different perspective. And that openness allowed me to see that it's not personal. And it is all about the contract. This is so much bigger than me and these measly grievances. It's about values and principles and uniqueness. What became clear to me is that the language regarding teacher salaries in our current contract, and that was used to establish my salary, is rooted in these values. To illustrate my point, I would just like to say that I am a unique individual. I'm no better or worse than anyone else in this room. But I am unique, and my experiences are unique. And so are all of yours. We are not the same person. During my 20-plus years as an educator in Tecumseh, I've served this district in a variety of roles. I've gained a lot of skills and experiences that have helped me grow both personally and professionally, and I know that I've made a positive impact in the lives of many children and families that I have served. For the majority of my career, we were in a place in education where all teachers were treated like cookie cutters to be fit into a mold, one right after the other. You could teach for 30 years or teach 1 year 30 times and progress up through the steps just like everyone else. It was predictable and clean, and it was easy. Things like salary schedules were designed with this value of sameness in mind, to simplify things and keep everything fair and equal and the same. But the old system was flawed in that it didn't recognize our uniqueness. In contrast, in the last 5 years or so, to the chagrin of some and the delight of others, we've switched to a different set of values in terms of how we compensate our educators. In Tecumseh, that means our contract no longer has a predictable salary schedule that everyone advances through at the same pace. Instead, each teacher now has what is known as an individual wage base. This is contract language. And their individual wage base is unique to him or her. An individual unique wage base is based on things like years of experience in general, levels of education, effectiveness ratings, and so on. It would not be out of the realm of possibility for 2 teachers who have been teaching for the same number of years to have vastly different salaries based on their unique characteristics and experiences. And that's okay. I like to think that this change was made so that the uniqueness of individual teachers could be honored and valued, because that is something I believe in. I believe in it for adults just as much as I believe in it for children. By going back and trying to retrofit our salaries into a mechanism used in the past to cookie-cutter teachers, even in the name of fairness and equity, we lose the benefits of honoring each individual's uniqueness. And I, for one, don't want to go back to that system. The TEA leadership believes that I am a cookie and I must be cut down, stripped of what makes me unique, to fit into a mold that I do not fit into. They feel that my salary cannot possibly be decided based on arbitrary, aka unique characteristics. One such characteristic is the fact that I am one of very few members of my bargaining unit who has earned both a master's and a specialist degree. I know that I'm not the only one, but we are indeed unique in this characteristic. Another characteristic of mine is that I had the unique and marvelous experience of serving as a building administrator in this district for 7 years. To add to the uniqueness of that experience, for 2 of those years, I served as the principal of 2 buildings simultaneously. I literally did the job of 2 people for 2 years. That is pretty unique experience if I do say so myself. And despite the fact that I did a pretty good job, it almost killed me. But it didn't, and now I'm stronger for it. So if we were going back to teachers being cookies to be cut and fit, then I guess the TEA leadership was right to file these grievances. In that case, I should be lined up with the other cookies based on the simple things we can see and measure, and I should obediently get in line. It would be so easy to go back, wouldn't it? We could all just hop into our DeLoreans and fire up the flux capacitors. It would certainly make this debate a lot simpler. But we can't live in past contracts. And we can't try and pretend that we should follow them. If we want to go back to a salary schedule, we have to wait and rewrite the contract through the proper bargaining process. Our current contract language of individual wage base is very clear in that it values the uniqueness of each one of us as individuals and our unique experiences. There is a reason why there is no salary schedule in our current contract. And legally, the fact that there isn't is the point of all of this. While the retrofit can be done, as Mr. Beasley will show us, with our current contract language, we don't have the option of trying to retrofit our current value system that honors our uniqueness into the old cookie cutter system that values sameness. And as simple as it would be to do so, do we really want to? In summary, there simply is no salary schedule in the current contract, no matter how much Mr. Beasley and the TEA leaders want there to be. And therefore, no matter what numbers they've crunched using the old salary schedule, the numbers are simply just wrong. It is flawed thinking under our current contract to think that you can just line up each individual's teacher salary and form an opinion on who should be where on that list. Our current contract, the one that exists right now, that we must abide by, has absolutely no room for these types of comparisons. Instead, and I would argue that it is to all of our benefit, that there are so many other unique characteristics that must be considered. What is right is for us to celebrate when our members' uniqueness is honored and insist in each subsequent contract that we negotiate in the future that it be honored even more so. If I were part of the TEA leadership team, I would fight for uniqueness over cookie cutters every day of the week, because that is truly where our strengths lie. I would resign my position as a union leader before I let some outdated system define my members or strip them of their uniqueness. I would contend that the new definition of fairness and equity is that everyone be compensated based on his or her uniqueness, and when someone is being told to get in line, I would fight for their uniqueness. We can be united as a union, but that doesn't mean we have to go back to being cookie cutters. Our current contract language dictates, no, it insists upon uniqueness rather than cookie cutters in no uncertain terms. My hope and prayer is that our school board and our union leadership